Okay, and now I'm gonna load up Substance Painter and make sure, I have to have Substance Painter or Maya down when I use Substance Painter because it gets kind of nasty on these. Add. Open a new file. PBR Metal Rough, sure. Select my game res. Yes, please. My lecture models. Bucket low. Grab it. 1024 is what I'm going to start off with. Who cares? Compute tangent space per fragment. You do want that on. UV tile workflow. I am not using that. I'm not painting on UV tiles and trimming. So not really something I'm looking forward to right now. Don't need cameras. I don't need auto unwrapping either. Bad stuff. Very experimental. Do not have auto unwrap turned on. So just check all these settings before you import in. And here we are with my bucket low. And now let's get to baking. I'm gonna work one thing at a time. No need to waste my time on this. I'm gonna keep my map sizes low and get straight to business, okay? Dilation width, we don't need that to be 32. I think I was trying some things out. I don't know why it's not saving my settings. I do want a diffusion. Diffusion is the background color of the map. Most of these should be set up for you already. I still think that my stuff is just kind of offset from me trying out some new things. Get your high res in there, just like that. I showed you guys what cages were, I'm pretty sure. It's just like a man-made envelope that you could do with inflation. Don't use that, though. I don't recommend it right now. That's a little bit more experimental for you guys if you're really getting some nasty stuff. All these settings are good. I do explain these pretty well in the 2.1 lecture, so give that a look at. I'm not working with anti-aliasing just yet because I want some fast results. Match by mesh name. I want my stuff using mesh name matching. I use the suffixes LO and HI, so I need to make sure that Substance Painter knows that that's what I'm looking for. Okay, that's all my settings for my initial bake. We'll up the ante a little bit more once I make sure that all my stuff's looking good. And there we go. First bake done. Nice and quick. Okay, so I see here. Oh, one of my holes. Look at that. Look at that. Because I only. Oh, yeah. I put floating geometry on both of them. And that was kind of silly because I ended up offsetting the UVs anyways. So I need to make sure I delete that next time. I don't even know if it really matters actually because this bottom one's not baking at all. It's just receiving a duplicate of that. So really what I need to do is I just need to go into Maya after I'm done baking and just scoot this guy over a little bit. Okay. That was my bad on that one. I completely just like, and that goes to show you what happens with baking. You got to see these results, get them out really fast. I'm not going to do that right now, but I'll do that later. No problems. You guys just go in there and look at your stuff and see what's going on. I'm seeing some issues here with my high res and game res probably not matching up very well. I am a little bit faceted on this game res and the corners are kind of cutting off there. So, we'll see what happens though. Maybe I just need a little bit more, envelope here. I'll go up to 2 maybe, and that's probably where I'm going to draw the line. I don't think you guys are going to need anything more than that. And let's go just a little bit higher, 2048. We'll put some 2x2 subsampling on there maybe and see what we get. Okay, so a little bit cleaner. At the same time here too, it's like I see stuff showing up here on this bottom one, but the top one's not looking too bad. So maybe there's just a difference between that. These guys are not looking too great on the bottom. I think what I need to do is taper my geometry in a little bit more, maybe. Something's going on with the bottom shapes. Substance Painter is not letting me see double-sided geometry either. So, but you know, that is something I plan on, you know, making this guy double-sided so that we can see the bottom still. Okay, I mean, you guys see my floating geometry though? That's how it baked in, okay? It's just a normal map right now, okay? There's a little ring around it kind of thing, so it wasn't perfect. It's not too bad though, not too bad. Pretty quick and simple, pretty easy. Let's try out AO. Let's see what we get with AO now. I'm gonna turn my normal map off and go into AO now. I think I'm confident with the 2048. We'll keep that going. 2x2 subsampling is fine by me. Let's see what we get. So this is the little longer bake that's going on here. It still shouldn't be too long. Shouldn't be too crazy. There we go. All right, so take a look at what's happening. Look around your model. We'll see that some of my bakes here, like you'll see that some of my bakes have like different scales to them, and it's giving me some bad AO in different areas. So that's something that I didn't think about when I was scaling these things. So I may need to change that up a little bit, or simply just X out the AO for my banding. I'm not sure what I want to do with that, really. Something I did not turn on that I feel like I needed to was going over to the ambient occlusion and telling it to ignore backface always. Always ignore backface. Maybe that might fix things. I don't know. I do not know. And now it's not letting me leave the bake settings. So I guess I got to do this again. But ignoring backface is going to keep that flap for the floating geometry from showing up. See if that works, and maybe it might fix my AO on this guy. Maybe. But I do want you guys to be able to see how the textures are working here. Like, that's not looking too great. My floater, though, lost that ring. So that's something you want to get rid of, is that ignore backface, turn that on. But yeah, this stuff here, not great. I would have preferred just the deeper shadows, really. And there may be some shapes where you just have to say, you know, I need to, yeah, maybe some shapes where you just want to mask out the AO completely. But I mean, look at the textures here, though. This is what's baking over here, and these guys are just receiving the same information as you see with the textures. These guys are the only ones that are baking, and these guys are all just following along. You'll see that some of my rivets are not matching up. Okay. So yeah, the AO is not going to be the best map on this kind of texture workflow here, because I moved things around too much. So let me show you guys how to mask things out now, okay? I mean, maybe you still want some AO in some of these areas. I don't think there's any way of me masking this stuff out, though, truthfully, because if I mask things out, I'm masking it out on the baking side of things and not the AO side of things. And that stinks. It truly does. Okay, so pretty much what I need to do here is, for one, this guy's got to get rotated around, right? I do believe I probably need to just take my rivets and just lower the geometry down to match the AO. I mean, that's going to be a quick fix, so I really don't want to mask. I don't want to mask the AO out on these guys. My planks, though, are not getting good AO from the rings because I did scale them around a little bit, so they do not match up with the ring actually now. So that stinks. Maybe I could just paint in my own AO for that because it is just a straight line. Maybe I could do that. I don't know. We'll take a look. We could see. Still though, that's not going to help anything because these guys are all just lined up differently, and it's just repeating the information. So I think I'm just going to have to mask the AO off of the wood planks. Truthfully, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's not that big of an asset. But I am realizing and recognizing this stuff. I mean, there is another solution here too, where maybe that's what I'll do is I could do another bake maybe. This is my AO map. Let me do another bake with the AO here, and I want to try something else. AO has its own bake by mesh name, so let me try that out actually, because that might help me here. But it will take away probably like the rings for my rivets and stuff. Let's look. Let's see what this does real quick. Let me just lower this down to 1024. I just want some fast results here. But this is going to take away that mat. It's going to only bake things that are named the same. So you'll see how my hole baked on there. Yeah, a lot of my AO went away though. If I look at my AO map now, going to bakes. Yeah, my AO is just like not even there anymore. I'm getting a little bit of AO inside, which is nice. I like that. Got the hole, right? But yeah, it's not baking the shapes onto each other now though. It's not too bad, truthfully. It's not terrible. I think I would still like these rings to be here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to export this resource. I'm just going to export it to my desktop real quick. So I have one map there. And watch this, okay? I'm just going to rename this thing. That's the other thing I forgot to check too, is to make sure that all of my stuff was one material. Make sure that you're doing that. Thankfully, that didn't happen to me. I'm just going to take away like the Lambert. Just rename it and put it in, and it should come in as a different thing. Put it in textures, import to the current session probably is all I need it for. And now I have one AO map that's not the first one. Okay, so that's cool. Now watch this. Okay, I'm gonna turn that setting back on again, where we have the always bake. Let's make this 2048 again because I want some good resolution on my rings. And I'm literally going to mask out my wood for just the first map, and I'm gonna mix these two maps together basically now. The normals are fine. The normals, I'm not getting any errors that I don't really have to move things around too much. But really, what I'm doing here is I'm baking my rings I'm baking the halos for my rings. because I like that. I don't like what the wood's doing here. And if you look at my bakes here too, I think I was getting some errors from this stuff, actually. Like this is not good. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm going to try to avoid. So come along with me. Let's try this out. So this is my AO map. I'm going to, for this demonstration, I'm going to need to add an ambient occlusion channel. And my ambient occlusion channel is going to be set to replace instead. So now, everything that I do on my layers is going to be in a replace situation. So now I'm going to go to full. I'm gonna make a fill node. My bake. I'm only going to work with AO. I'm going to put my bake here in the AO. So that's the bake that's in there right now. And then I'm going to make another fill layer with a black mask. And I'm going to put my first bake in there. Slide it right there. Now, make a paint node or a little paint mask. And I'm going to just go into geometry selection. I'm just going to grab my shapes here and make it white. And I'm just going to select this stuff. I am not doing a mesh. Oh, okay. I guess I need to be in material mode. It should be doing it. So let me go to AO here. I'm not doing multiply, I want just normal. There we go. Multiply is going to take my darks and just put them over my lights. That's what multiply is, so it's not going to work that way. But if you put that layer to normal in the AO mode, this is what I'm going to get now. So if I turn this off, you'll see that I'm getting my old AO map there, the one that I baked just now. And this one is the one where I just baked without the match by mesh name on, and you'll see there so now looking at let's go to my AO channel. The bake map's not going to show up the right way, but this is my AO channel. Now I'm getting that light AO on my wood planks from them just baking onto themselves, but I'm not getting those rings anymore. Okay. So that's going to be and I mean, you guys can paint this in with paint brushes too. Like if you get a bad AO, here, let's do my ring here. Where's my ring at? Here's my ring, right? It's like, okay, well that's bad. I don't want that to be there anymore. I want this guy to be over here, and I'll do that. Let me just come in here now with a white brush and just say, yeah, I don't want this guy to be here. I'm just going to mask it out. Mask it out. Why aren't you masking? Oh, because I can't be in the map mode, I guess. I don't know. Go white. Be white. Be merry. What's going on? Why aren't you painting? Oh, I'm not in the paint layer. Try it again. Why aren't you painting? Oh. Okay, so it's not painting because this is my duplicated ring. I get it now. So if I did want to paint out that ring, or the ring on my AO, sorry, I was doing it the wrong way. That's my duplicated shape. I need to come back to my original shape. And come on. There's my mask coming in. And my AO channel. That one's okay. So my my hole baked on there because it was part of my shape. So that hole's on both my maps. But if I wanted to get rid of this kind of stuff, This was baking from the rivets onto the shape there. I can get rid of that one because that one's actually in this map. But the whole baked onto both maps because they're both the name thing going on there. Yeah. Okay. Everything's making sense now. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. Anyways, do you guys understand what you can do now with masking bakes off? Everyone good with that? I need to lower my rivets down in the geometry. I could just take my AO map out of Substance Painter, put it in the Maya as just a base color, and just move my geometry around from that point. But yeah, since I am duplicating things, it may take a little bit of wiggling around like that to get things to work, because I duplicated so much on this model. But wow, did I save a lot of UV space. And these guys are gonna be really good textures. Okay. If I plug in, well, let's take a look at right now. I forgot too that I'm only in 1024 mode, so 2048 is gonna look even better looking at things in 2048. But let me just lower it down to 1024 and just show you what resolution I'm getting with just 1024. There we go. My oak cherry wood grain doesn't do that. It goes up and down, right? That's the resolution I'm getting on this guy with 1024 mode turned on. It's not too bad, okay? Because a lot of my UVs are out here. I'm saving that much UV space and getting really good looking textures. This guy's not even scaling. I could scale it even more and get some really tiny details in there pretty well, okay? So, I mean, UVs are gold, okay? They're your gold. You want good UVs to get really good resolution textures and reuse things, okay? If I put, trying to think about like my rivets, we can go to the rivets and let me see. I'm gonna try to put something obnoxious like zebra skin maybe. I'll do like zebra skin on my rivets only. Make a black mask here and make it paint some whites in there. I can just grab shapes now. Nope. Let me just grab UV shells. That's probably better. There we go. 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 Something annoying like zebra skin. I mean, I still, looking at this thing now, I still have some variety where I'm not really seeing that same pattern happen. But still, a lot of my rivets are, this guy looks like he's doing the same thing as this guy a little bit. I don't know though. I don't know if that's true or not. And you guys can also spin these models around too. Just rotate them, and that kind of thing would not even be visible after a certain point. Let's do something else now. Put a black mask on this thing. Add a paint, and I'm trying to pick something else annoying, and I'm just gonna grab my bands here and show you guys that that this thing here. Let me scale it a little bit more. Not the same texture. Like this one actually. Okay, so my UVs are probably a little bit stretched on this one or something. But we're not gonna see the same texture on the top and the bottom. They're gonna be on the opposite sides. So make use of that stuff, please. It's going to be a good setup for you. This looks absolutely annoying right now, but you know, hopefully, using generators and stuff, you're going to get a lot of details on these things and really make it look good. Okay. So now that I know what I'm doing with this thing, I can go back into Maya, make some changes, and get it set up for a better bake. And you know, once again, if I didn't do a test bake like this, I wouldn't have enough time to plan this model out the right way. And for me to say, well, I think I need to take a look at this now and reconsider some things, you wouldn't have that opportunity. Okay, if you didn't do something like that. So don't leave it behind. Test some things out. Try it out. Okay.